It's time!
The odds to end it all? Very well.
Helldolls!
Hepburn!
Lions!
Lions!
Howl! This is
Impossible!
my everything! Moutellus.
You've achieved your goal. You've avenged your guardian, your comrades. This age of chaos will not end. And when you put that sword through me, a new Lord of Calamity will be born. Do it. Only then will you fully understand.
I'm sorry that this was the only way to save you. Good night, Heldolf. Your life of eternal solitude is at last over.
You dare fight back, even until the very end. I can't stand it.
Thank you.
And that was the end, ladies and gents. We did it. We saved the world from the Lord of Calamity Helldorf. And Wow, was this a... This was a beast of a playthrough, not gonna lie. 83 parts worth of adventure. 20 episodes longer than Kingdom Hearts, making this my longest series up to this day. This was quite a long journey, and actually I knew right from the start that this would be a long one, given that we are talking about a Tales game, or a JRPG in general. However, now that it has ended, it's like I have that feeling of, well, now what? I have been playing this for such a long time. It is kind of weird that the main plot is done. But, well, like usual, everything that begins will also end at some point. And there are quite a few side stuff that I will be doing next, so it's not like this is going to be the last video of the series. However, it's just a weird feeling that I have. It's that feeling that I have at the end of a game where I didn't really want this to end, but at the same time it had to be done at some point. It's just that I wasn't really physically prepared for something like this, and well, it comes with experience and all, and I'm really glad that I played this game. But before I say my conclusion thing over here, I guess it's time to say my thoughts, like usual. Like at every single game, I'm gonna say my thoughts about the game. And I guess I will start with the bad side, and I will end it all with the good stuff. Well, the first thing that I would like to add to the bad side part is that, well, I guess that everyone who played will agree with me and say that the camera in battle at times can be a bit wonky, mostly when you are in a small place and you don't have much space to fight your enemy. And I guess that would be the disadvantage of moving from the original, like, Tales style of doing things, where it drops you in a completely separate yet very big place to fight. And, well, that's a common thing for most of the JRPGs. And in order to have no problems and all. And I did talk about this idea in the past, where you can use the new camera system in places such as the outside. And here we have Sorey and Mikio run away from Aizen alongside Edna. Such good times, I guess. We still have some side stuff to do, so this is not going to be the last video. Given the fact that we still have some stuff to complete when it comes to Aizen and our promise to Edna in terms of solving the problem with his brother, but all in due time. Where was I? Ah, yes. I did talk about this idea in the past, where you can use the new camera system in big places such as the outside and in dungeons. And in dungeons, you throw in the old camera system when you have small areas. You know, you combine the two and make it work much better. At least that would be my main thing in my head. And well, speaking of dungeons, well, some of them were really interesting in my opinion, with their puzzle and all. Like the 4 trial ruins and the Arturia's throne. Those were really interesting, and I liked those. However, I can't say the same thing for, well, you know, the optional dungeons, which consist of either a forest, a normal dungeon-like place, and caves, which some of them felt very samey with how it looked and had the same music at times. And because of that, it made me confused, like, Wait, was this the other dungeon that I explored before? Have I been here? Or is this a new one? But, well, they were small optional dungeons at least, the one dungeons at least. And the ones in the main plot were pretty good in my book. What else? Another thing. I think that one thing that I would have wished in the game was to fly using a ship or a dragon. Any means of transportation like in the older Tales games. Instead, you know, to use saves. I would have wished to travel all over the world, but instead it is a very big continent, which I still like because it felt really huge to me with all the locations. Or maybe even bigger if we were talking about the number of locations, but my god, there were quite a lot of locations. And that was the end of the credits. Ready? Ready? Come on, I have lots and lots of stuff to say over here. God dang it. Oh wait, hold on a second. We have a cutscene over here. An extra cutscene. Sweet. Such a sad thing. And, well, we still have some stuff left of the credits, so I guess I should make my points way fast over here. And, what else on the bad side part? One thing that I realized is that in order to make battles much easier, you have to use amortization, which actually diminishes the usage of people separately. Cause I don't even remember when it was the last time I used Edna or Zafi or Rose, etc. like separately. It is definitely more efficient to use amortization in this game. But you know, instead of just seeing this as a bad thing, as just a bad thing, I also see it as a challenge. A challenge to not use amortization, and it may be more difficult at times, but it can act as a way of challenging myself, like trying to learn how to use, for example, Lila or Edna more efficiently. And I think that one more thing that I would like to add was actually Sorey. No, I'm not saying that he was a bad character. But it definitely felt like he wasn't as interesting as I would have hoped. But besides him going through the hardships of being the shepherd, he did manage to pull it off very well. And I like that. But maybe if he had some more challenge or have some character flaw, though definitely not as much as Luke, it would have been much more interesting to see. But other than that, he is a very likable character in my opinion. He definitely seems like the type of guy that I would like as a friend to just talk and do a bunch of stuff. And here we have Sorey and Mikio as little kids exploring ruins and their shenanigans. Just look at them. Look at all the chaos. Look at all the chaos. They're gonna die. Such good times. And I guess that covers the bad side. Well, what about the good side? And well, here we have another cutscene over here. Let's see, we have some more stuff about the future. Could that be? Is that Sorey? He's still alive! Well, of course he's still alive. I mean, if you were paying attention to the story, well, he certainly didn't die at the end. He is still alive, but in other situations. But I guess that's the end, eh? Legendary Seraphic Art Key. Ooh, key for reawakening ancient Seraphic arts. It's a mystery why Helldalf had it. Interesting. Congratulations on finishing the game. Yeah, I guess this tells me that we can go back to the last save and do a bunch of other stuff. And we have the new game plus, which I'm definitely gonna be doing in my spare time. But yep, I guess that's the end of the credits now. God dang it, man. Now, I'm probably like the only person in the world who is gonna say that, yeah, I needed longer credits just so I can say my thoughts. But alright, so the good stuff. And, well, I guess I should start this with the main thing. The main thing that, well, one of the main things that drew me into the Tales series and making me play the my very first Tales game ever, which is actually this game. This is actually my very first Tales game that I ever played. The main thing was the characters. And, well, while I do think that Sorey, in my opinion, was the least interesting in this game, the other playable characters, I really loved the other characters. They were really funny. They were really fun. They had their past, like Zavid, Dazzle. Every single character. Every single playable character had their own past, which was pretty interesting to learn about them. They were really fun to listen to during skits, which was one of the many things that I really liked about this game. Just listening to skits and just listen to what the characters had to say between each other, the banter between the characters, and it's definitely made more apparent in the DLC skits, which I'm definitely gonna check that out at some point in the future. They were really great. I really loved the characters. They were really fun, and some of them were really fun to play as at times. Though I would question Miklo's disappointing moments during this playthrough, but besides that, they were all pretty good characters, and I really loved them. I really enjoyed the story. It was in my opinion, it was a much simpler story than I would have imagined, like in the older games. The main theme of the game was to save someone, and what you do when you can't save someone, and it is a pretty good thing to touch. It is a pretty good theme in my opinion, but yeah, it felt a little bit simple in this game's case. And well, I guess I could just go back and replay the game once again and see about some other stuff that I missed. But other than that, it was pretty good. The soundtrack was really awesome. I really loved the soundtrack. I really enjoyed the soundtrack. It makes me listen to it like so many times, you have like no idea. And while I do believe that the amortization kinda, I wouldn't say ruined it, but it kinda makes the game a lot easier. The gameplay was really great. I really enjoyed the gameplay. It was really well done. If it weren't for camera work at some points, it would have made the gameplay a lot better in my opinion, and it would have been great. And I guess that pretty much covers up everything that I had to say about this game. I'm sure that there are quite a few stuff that I would like to say, like both on the good side and the bad stuff, which I'm definitely gonna talk about that like into extra content that I'm gonna show like after this game, like after the main plot. Because for right now I don't really have that much time to talk about it. But what I'd like to say in conclusion is that the good stuff that this game had to offer outweighs the bad stuff in my opinion. Yeah, it was a pretty solid game. Yeah, I really enjoyed like a lot of moments in this one. And while I do believe that if you were if you were new to the Tales games and you don't know what you're getting into, and you were to talk to a more experienced Tales player than me, he would definitely recommend you like much better games than Tales of Zestiria, because there are quite a few like really great, like much better games than this, in my opinion. Like Tales of Symphonia, Tales of Vesperia, those are pretty good games. But am I actually disappointed that this game was my very first Tales game? Not at all. It was a pretty good game nonetheless. I really enjoyed it. It was Alright boys, let's do this. Fly me to the moon.
My dream will live on, so long as I don't forget. Very well. Thank you, Mikleo.
been standing there for quite a while with that sad face. Has something happened? Well, Oh, I get it. It's because you ended an adventure today, right? Well, that's partially true, Misha. Though there is something else that worries me. Makes me a little bit sad inside. Oh, what is it? You can tell me. Well, remember when I said that I was looking for something in particular every single time I went in an adventure? Oh yeah, you told me that. Though you never told me what that consists of. What is it that you're looking for? Well, the thing is,
You've got mail.
Hey, you got mail from someone. Yeah, apparently I did. Yeah, apparently so. I wonder who sent me this mail. Mr. Noby Adventure. We recently held a lottery to select one ordinary student to attend our school. As a result, you have been selected and we invite you to join us as the ultimate lucky student at Hope's Peak Academy. Hope's Peak Academy? What? Oh, shoot!